This is a reminder of a story in our endeavor to answer those questions that have been asked, and specifically that question, what's your relationship with life now? But first, there's that little anecdote about the quasi or fraud guru who used to gather his followers by the side of a large lake. But he noticed that there was one woman, she was a maid from across the other side of the lake, who was always late for his meetings. And he scolded her one day, and she apologized profusely, saying, well, the ferryman is quite unreliable. And the would-be guru said, why, you woman of so little faith, why don't you just say Rama, 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 and make a path across the water? So the would-be guru noticed that the young maid was never late again, and he asked her, what is it? Is the ferry boat now coming on time? And she said, no, I did what you told me to do. I said Rama, 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 and made a path across the lake. And indeed, as he watched, as the young maid departed, she just walked across the water. And he said to himself, well, if she can do it, then I can do it too. So he stepped into the lake and sank immediately down to the bottom. Then this reminder of the story is that place which is in faraway Tibet, in the high mountains of the Himalayas bordering India, at a time when Buddhism had flooded the lands. And there was an old woman who, with great reverence, dedication, every day lit her butter lamps, prostrated herself in front of her altar to the Buddha. But she had a son who was a merchant, and he very often went off to India to bring back goods to trade. So his mother beseeched him, you go to India and you go to that holy place of Bodh Gaya. Bring me back a relic, a talisman of the Buddha, so that I can put it on my altar and give it due reverence. And the Buddha will be here. But the son traversed the path to India several times, and each time he forgot to bring back the relic, the talisman, for his mother. And then, on an occasion, when he was about to depart for India again, she said, if you do not bring me back a relic, I will kill myself in front of your eyes. Now the son was greatly surprised at the vehemence of this statement, and he resolved to bring back that which his mother had requested. But he transacted his business, and he was almost back to his village when he remembered that he had forgotten again to obtain the relic for his mother. Remembering the intensity of her words, knowing that she meant what she said, what could he do? But just then, by the side of the road, he noticed the dried bones of a dog. So he alighted from his horse and extracted one of the canine teeth of the bones and carefully wrapped them in a piece of silk. When he arrived back at his mother's house, he presented the package to her, telling her that this was the relic that she had asked for. So, with great reverence, she took the piece of silk, extracted the tooth, and put it up on her altar. And every day, with great dedication, she prostrated herself before the altar, before the tooth. And after a while, it began to be noticed that there were flashing lights coming out of the tooth. And when people came to visit, when they bowed before the altar, which was of course one of the customs required, that oftentimes a rainbow would appear over the tooth and a miraculous healing would take place in the person who had bowed. So people began to come from everywhere to seek healing, and invariably the great light which emanated from this tooth worked in whatever way was appropriate for whoever came. And when the old woman died, the tooth continued to emanate its force to bring healing and change in people's lives. What's the deep meaning of this story relative to the question, what is our relationship with life now? Or maybe the question could be asked, what is the similarity or difference between this anecdote and this Tibetan story? Allowing us to clarify where we're at in relationship to life. thank you.